Hello guys, welcome to Lioness Temple. I'm Fanya and I'm so excited to have everyone on this journey with me. Lioness Temple is all about growth, physical, spiritual and mental growth. I didn't realize that I needed healing until I started my journey of growth, which takes us to today's topic. Let's talk about healing. Healing begins by identifying that there is past trauma that needs to be addressed. Understanding that there are emotions that are literally blocking you from transitioning into the person you used to be to the person you're becoming. Maybe you'll notice this in your daily actions or interactions. Taking everything personal can be a big sign that there is some healing that needs to be done. As we are growing up, and we are entering new chapters in our life, it is very, very important that we check ourselves and we see if there's things that we need to work on for us, for our children, for our partners, for our businesses. You do not want to be projecting your traumas onto your family or onto your business, which can be very, very traumatizing for the people at the receiving end. Another sign that you might need healing is when you're not able to take any criticism. Now, this one is a very big one for myself. I wasn't able for a long time to take on any criticism. Every single thing felt like a personal attack. This is when you know there's something wrong somewhere. Because imagine somebody is coming to you from a loving space, trying to give you advice or criticism on something that they think you could have improved on, but you're completely missing the point and you're focusing on something that is not there. Basically, a lot of people have this issue. Instead of trying to focus on the current issue, they are overlooking or overthinking the thing. That's because there's unresolved trauma within you that is rising up. It is triggered by maybe the criticism you're receiving. When you can't take on criticism, your ego is in the way. It literally feels like the whole universe is against you. The whole universe is trying to fight you, when really it's not. Another big sign that you might need healing is the constant feeling of guilt. Now, I am guilty of this one. When I lost my mother at first, I was constantly feeling guilty. I felt like there was so much more I could have done to prevent the death or just to prevent her from being sick. I started to feel like there is a lot of more research that I could have done, or there's a lot of more time I could have given to her, when in reality, every single thing that was happening right in the time was completely out of my control. It was up to God. But because the feeling of guilt was so strong, even after her death, I was blaming myself for a lot of things. Now, this can be a sign that you need healing. Another one is when you have done something to somebody to offend them. A lot of times, when time goes on, we don't go on with the time. We are just carrying on with the time, but we're still stuck at the place where we've done something to someone. The best way to overcome this is to forgive yourself for what you've done, is to apologize to the person that you've done wrong to. Once you apologize, however, it is not in your control. This is really important. Once you have apologized, it is out of your control. You are not responsible on how that person heals. And another thing is, you can't control if the other person is forgiving you or not. That is up to the other person and God. Really important it is that you do not let anyone keep reminding you of the past mistakes you've done. Everyone who is here to constantly remind you of your past mistakes, to constantly remind you that what you could have done better, to constantly put you back in a position or in a place that you're trying to overcome, should be cut off. I have a tendency to block a lot of people in my life. I'm really saying this, and it's not a selfish way. I used to think that it's a selfish act, when really and truly it is necessary for you to grow and for you to heal. You can't be the best version of yourself if you keep allowing other people to come between you and your growth. Now to signs that you are definitely on the path of healing. When you start to accept things as they are and not as what you're trying to make them out to be. When you accept things, you understand that there is not always the need of a reaction. I think this is important, especially for us ladies, because a lot of times us ladies feel like we always need to react, we always need to have the last word, we always need to say something. That is actually our ego. That is our ego that does not want to be put into a place. That's why we're coming up with always the need to fight, always the need to justify ourselves, which is a big problem. I stopped justifying myself. It is what it is, like a lot of people say. Obviously, sometimes you have to say something, but most of the times you can just let it go. It takes way more energy to react than it takes energy to let something go. When we start to walk in the light that we're supposed to walk, you will just walk with ease. A lot of things won't bother you anymore. A lot of things that used to bother you in the past, or where you used to think, I have to say something or I have to react, you're just gonna feel natural, as if it has no effect on you. And that is when you really understand and you're really coming to acknowledge that, okay, I'm growing. There is something that is changing within me. Now to things that have helped me on my journey of healing and growth. Meditating. Meditating is a big one in my box. I love to meditate. Meditating shuts the mind down. You literally are focusing on nothing. I know it sounds weird when you haven't done it before, but trust me, it helps. When you're focusing on nothing, you're just calm. You give yourself the chance to really just shut down, because sometimes the mind can be overwhelming. You can think of this and you can think of that, which is sometimes very distractive. Another one is prayers. Now, if you're religious or spiritual, you will agree with me. Prayers does wonders. There is no one better to go to than to God. If you're not spiritual, I don't really think this video is for you anyways, because yes. Another thing is therapy. Now, I know a lot of religious people or spiritual people do not believe in therapy. More religious people, to be honest. I grew up in church, and the time when I lost my mother, no one has really recommended therapy to me, which was quite strange to me, because therapy is the natural next step you do when you're going through something or you're struggling. I think I had a few sessions. I had one session with somebody about something personal, but therapy really, really helps. And let's be honest, it's unlikely that God's gonna come down from heaven and it's gonna tell you what to do. So it's gonna be through somebody else, where therapy can help. Now, if you do not believe in therapy, you could get yourself a mentor. That helps as well. I have a mentor for my healing journey and for my personal things as well. So mentors really, really help. Just getting yourself the guide from somebody who's been through what you've been through, or is, just has more experience, really, really helps. Another one on my list is, do not feel guilty for doing something that makes you happy. What we need to understand as humans, when you are happy, only then can you be a blessing to others. When you're not happy or you're not fulfilled, how will you be a blessing to other people? It is literally impossible. The last one, but not least, don't be afraid to say no. This is very important. I had to learn this because I was a yes, yes, yes person, but a lot of times I could not fulfill all my yeses or all my promises. I would say yes to a date, which I had to cancel last minute, which I already knew probably I'm not in the mood, or I don't feel like going, or I'm not gonna make it. But I just said yes to please other people. As you're growing or as you're healing, it's important to know that you come first. When you know you can't fulfill a promise or you can't be at a certain place, say yes. Say no, actually. What am I talking about? Say no. Say no. It is important to say no. Exactly. I want to thank everybody for taking their time and watching this video today. If you liked it, subscribe. Send the video out to anybody that you know might need help or just need some inspiration or motivation. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Like, subscribe, share, comment. In the comment section we can discuss what you thought about this video. And yes, this is all from me. Love and light.